Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to Higher Max. I apologize that this review is coming to y'all so late, but I have been battling a cold, which I first thought was the Rona. We thank God that it was not, but now we're here, and I was like, I will not let this week pass without me doing a challenge review, because the things we saw, from Kyle's power move to Joseph eating his mustard and everything in between. But before we continue on, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into this video. So where we left off last week, as we all saw, Natalie won the challenge against Ashley. She went over those, I forgot what those things are, but she went over those things faster than her. The survivor girl has brought it, and she has one of the first red skulls of the season. Remember, TJ told us at the beginning of this all that there will only be 10. Now, when we get back into the house, into the villa, Mr. CT, Mr. I'm Famous for Nothing, is starting to, try to butter up Cam, apologize, trying to be her partner again. He's rethinking everything because now he's a lone man. And he knows he's probably going to be teamed up with one of the weaker girls, whoever comes back from elimination this week. Now, Miss Cam doesn't want to hear none of it. And of course, Josh, being Josh, has to come in, being his old dramatic self, saying something, just being upset that CT even proposed this, when we know CT's joking, wink wink, kind of, but still, there was no need to be so pressed about it. And so we get into the next day and we see some people, Nani, all having a conversation, and they're mostly talking about their partners and if they're happy in the situation that they are or not. As usual, Nani is complaining. And okay, I have nothing against Nani. I just think that, okay, there is some respect you get as someone who continuously comes onto the challenge. But at the same time, you haven't won. And has she even gotten to a final, or she always comes out before a final? I believe she always comes out before a final. So she's busy here judging Kyle, busy saying she doesn't want him as a partner because she doesn't feel like he's good enough to be her partner. But Miss Ma'am, Miss Thing, Miss Girl, you're lucky he's your partner. And especially with the way that this episode proceeds, you are lucky he's your partner. He got into the final last season, I believe. He was out there in the gulag in Siberia in the cold. So please, ma'am, watch what you're saying. He is, you know what? The thing is, a lot of people underestimate Kyle because of the fact that he can be shady, and because of the fact that he plays a slight political game, in the sense that he's everybody's friend. But at the end of the day, Mr. Kyle, he pulls through for himself. And also the other thing that makes me laugh is I'm a huge Geordie Shore fan, especially of the earlier seasons. So Kyle's rebrand from wild Geordie Shore party man to challenge vet is such an interesting rebrand. MTV, I don't know what you're doing. Kyle's team, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing a good, sweetheart, you're doing a good. However, the most tension that we are seeing throughout this episode is mostly through Big T and her partner Joseph. Big T has continuously said that she does not feel like Joseph is taking this whole thing seriously, and she does not feel like he understands how the challenge works. And I feel like Joseph is not leveraging the fact that Big T has been here before. Yes, you are a rookie and you're going to bring in your own expertise from motocross, whatever the hell he does. But at the same time, you also have to respect the fact that someone who understands how the challenge works can give you some advice. And I don't understand why he thought his partner was untrustworthy when she tries to communicate with him as much as possible. He's kind of just a case of that situation where someone thinks that they know too much. That's what he was doing. I'm sorry, but that's what Joseph was doing. And he was trying to come strong and, do the most. But I don't feel like he had learned or seen enough for him to try coming so hot like that. So the challenge of the day was I Spy. And practically what happens is the pairs have to swim through this icy cold water to a platform and get these blocks of ice that have these red capsules on the inside. after they swim back to the other side, back to the land they came from, they have to chip the ice block that they had and put it into one of the people's, what would you say, stand. And a stand of the team's name and have 3 holes, and once those 3 holes are filled, that team is out. And obviously Natalie and Wes were out in 0.2 seconds. The people do not want Natalie and Wes there, obviously, because they are great competitors. Natalie having a skull gives them a leg up, and Wes just because of the fact that he is a well-rounded competitor. Now, the thing that I like about challenges like this is that you get to see the alliances. You get to see who's on team with who is supporting who, and who's got who's back. Now, what I did not appreciate is that everyone is playing a scared motherfucking game. They're playing a scared ass game. And the reason I say this is, why the hell did none of y'all put anything in Aneesa and Fessy's? And Aneesa and Fessy had their own type of strategy going on at the same time, right? They came back, they were taking their time so that they could watch everybody else and make sure, oh, if you're going to put something in mine, I'm going to put something in yours. But why are you guys scared of them? Okay, I'd be like, okay, if Aneesa and Fessy want to put something in mine, okay? They've won one challenge. And yes, they are good competitors, but I don't think that they're to the point that you don't even put one capsule in their thing, not one. You guys y'all literally let them win. What was the reason? What was the reason? There was no reason for them to win again. Obviously, Fessy and Aneesa got a free win for no reason because people are playing a scared game. And we continue on, and we know that Wes and Natalie are the people who lost the challenge. Cool. Get back into the house, and Wes is doing what Wes does best. He's politicking. He's going around the house, making sure he's talking to everyone to make sure that he's talking to the people in power, especially, I believe he spoke to Corey and also Fessy and Aneesa. I think Fessy. And he just practically saying, like, y'all know what it is. I'm going to come back. And you're going to regret that I come back because y'all should not have put me there in the first place. So they're just listening. Really, at that point, I was not even sure what way Aneesa and Fessy were going to go. I'm not going to lie. I thought that they're just going to go with the house. You know, just going to go with the house. So now, at the same time, we have Mr. Joseph, who acts like he's been on the challenge for 20 seasons, saying he's ready to go in. And he's not even really discussed this with his partner. And obviously, even if you're partners with someone, the challenges go by male week or female week when people are going in. I think that's you should still tell your partner that this is your plan. So it's time to go into the house deliberations, and Joseph says that he wants to go in against Wes and Natalie, but he wants the house to put in Wes and Natalie. No, sir, you do not know, Mr. Wes. Mr. Wes Birchman was like, no. We put you and Big T in. Fessy and Natalie will put us in because, you know what, if they put us in, then the only people we can come back at is them two, nobody else. Of course, if you know anything about Wes knows how his ones and twos. He knows how to play the game to make sure that people focus on others. And you know what? He did exactly that. He spoke his way around, and Joseph was still saying, no. Put them in. But sir, it was too late. It was too late. You should have kept your mouth quiet. You should have kept your mouth shut. You should have spoken to Aneesa and Fessy on the side, because as soon as Wes got a whiff of that, he took that to the bank and he ran. And boy, did he run. He must have had a lot of y'all upset. But I was like, you know what? Let Wes do what he needs to do. Because Mr. Joseph thinks he knows how to play the challenge. So let him be challenged. Let him figure it all out. Now, as you know, Fessy and Aneesa won, and they have that privilege where they go inside the room and they get to see who everybody voted for. So before that happened, after the whole deliberation thing, Tori and Kyle walked into a room with Aneesa and Fessy, and they were like, oh, who did you vote for? And Tori was like, I voted for Wes and Natalie. And then Kyle was like, oh, Loki, I did too. You know, handshake, fist bump, bum, having a good old time, saying what he needs to do, because this is Kyle we're talking about. Cool. Fessy and Aneesa find out that's not what he did. Okay, would not be the first time that Kyle lies. What I'm personally confused about is what has Aneesa and Fessy so pissed about Kyle lying. I didn't even know that Aneesa and Fessy had such an alliance for it to disturb them so much that Kyle lied. That's what Kyle does. Everyone knows that that's Kyle's MO. He comes into the challenge, he does what he needs to do, he only fends for him and his like 1 or 2 friends, but for the most part, he plays as everybody's friend. So why are you so pressed about Kyle lying? Was he your number 1 alliance? Because to me, the way that Fessy and Aneesa were acting like was as if he was the number 1 alliance. There were so many people who had voted for Big T and Joseph who had said that they were not going to, because remember when they left the room, the consensus kind of was that Wes and Natalie were going in. It was kind of like, all right, Wes is playing his old tricks, but Wes and Natalie are going in. So I was just like, okay, Aneesa and Fessy, you are touched for the what? For the who? We know how this guy works. So like, what's new? Then we get to the elimination challenge. We get to the crater. Friends, we are in the beloved crater. And obviously at this point in time, before all of this, Fessy has been saying if it's a physical challenge, he's gonna go down. If it's a physical challenge, he's gonna go down. Well, sir, by looking down into the ring, all it can be is a physical challenge. There's not a puzzle in sight, not anything that could remotely make this situation a puzzle situation. And Sir decides not to go in. And TJ reminds him that there's only 10 red skulls. And you know what, y'all? I do not want Fessy to get inside the crater. He has had his opportunity. He did not take it. What is he waiting for? You would rather find out now rather than later whether you're going to get into the final, Fessy. Like, what? I'm just confused about what he's scared of. He thinks that next week they're going to let him win again. If y'all let him win again this week, like, I will be so bored. I will be so bored. I need the other challengers to step up. Wes, I need you to step up. Rel, I need you to step up. I also think that I'm hoping that the next challenge is more of a challenge where it's not based off of alliances, but based off of your physical ability between you and your team member. Fessy does not volunteer to go, and only does he do that, Aneesa and him decide to send Kyle down. And the shadiest part about this whole thing, the shadiest part is the fact that they had not even given Kyle a hint that he was going down. Not a hint. And then Aneesa's all like, oh, there are things about this game that people don't know. Okay. I'm wondering what this is going to do for their alliances, because Corey was not happy about this, and I don't think Nelson will be either. And about that, this is something I don't understand. This is one of the things I don't understand about them sending in Kyle. How does that even help their alliance if the fact that they are supposed to be in this huge major alliance, but they turned their back on everybody in the house just to have an alliance now with Wes and Natalie? Because that's the only way that you can take it, right? That they're now in an alliance with Wes and Natalie, and now the rest of the house can't trust them, which is why y'all should have been trying to win in the first place instead of trying to be friends with everybody, and then this is what ends up happening. So now I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad that Aneesa and Fessy turned on everybody's back, because this means everyone's going to start waking up and learn that you're not here for friends, you're here for the challenge, you're here for the money. So do what you need to do to win, okay? The elimination challenge works is that there is a ring, there's 2 rings, and you're wrestling and you're trying to get the ring on a pole by yourself. Obviously, it's very physical, very demanding, very taxing. And Joseph decides to lick mustard weirdly, okay? Everyone has their thing that prepares them. And him and Kyle get into the ring. I did not expect Kyle to wipe Joseph the way that he did. I know Kyle is a pretty good competitor, but I thought because of Joseph, the way he spoke about his professional training, that he would at least have some sort of leg up somehow, somewhere in the competition. But he did not. So Kyle wiped the floor with him. And it was 2-0 to Kyle. And I'm surprised Kyle even did that well without even mentally putting himself in the position to know that he would be competing, you know what I mean? So Kyle wins, and you know what, at the end, TJ's like, okay, congrats, whatever, you did what needed to be done, and Goodbye to Joseph. We'll see you at another challenge. Joseph now knows if you're gonna come to the challenge, come prepared. Don't think that this is motocross or whatever. Like, come prepared for the challenge. Anyways, and he leaves, and so we now know that Big T needs a new partner. Big T is ecstatic. Nani's ecstatic. I don't know why Nani's ecstatic, because you were busy talking crap about Kyle. You had so much to say about Kyle. So why are you ecstatic? Because Sir does not see you. Besides, you know what? If I'm gonna win this, I'm gonna do a big power move, and it's his time to do a power move, because everybody in the house right now is scared. After they, did the whole get rid of the big dogs such as CT and Ashley in that one chance, getting rid of Ashley, and how they're continuously going after Wes, he decided I'm gonna do a big move. And when asked if he can repair up with somebody, he chose nobody else but Killer Cam. And do you know why that's a smart decision? Because as I said my last review, how I did not expect Cam to be running those circles like she did. And Miss Cam is running those circles. She's running those circles. And by Kyle choosing her, he is essentially protecting himself. He's protecting himself. And Josh complaining, not Kyle's problem. If you have anybody to be upset with, you should be upset with Aneesa and Fessy. And I don't even understand when Josh was blaming Aneesa and Fessy, and then they were like, that's not our fault. Yeah, it is your fault. Who else's fault is it? Because you're the one who set this whole ball rolling. If you had put in the people that you said you're gonna put in, none of this would be happening right now. I love that he chose Cam. I think that was a big, huge power move that just set the tone, and this is gonna make the next few episodes very interesting. When TJ's asking Fessy, like, how do you feel? And he's like, oh, it's physical, I should have come in. And then Kyle's like, you're lying. Like, yeah, I agree with Kyle. You are lying because you had a chance to, and you literally were one of the only people who came into the night prepared to. You could have done it, and you didn't. So let's not cap. Try to sound brave. It's okay, but you weren't gonna do it. Point blank, period. And I forgot to mention the fact that CT and Big T are now being paired up. Anyway, so they all go back to the house, and that's kind of how we leave the episode. We don't really see much, but I did see the clip alluding to this week's episode. We see Josh going off at CT, I believe, if the editing hasn't been, chopped up to look a bit silly, but that's kind of what we can see and tell from the situation. Can never get a season without Josh having some sort of breakdown, some sort of fight. As much the same way you can expect to see Wes being shady and politicking is the same way you can expect Josh breaking down and having a meltdown and fighting with somebody. It's something that I've noticed has been a pattern for him. I wonder what he could be fighting with CT about, because like for the most part CT is pretty unproblematic and doesn't get involved in other people's things. So I'm just a bit like, okay, what's that all about? Anyways, I'm glad I was able to make this. I am sorry it was last minute. It will not happen again. I mean, as long as my health stays put together, it will not happen again. Anyways, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Tell me what you think is going to happen in this next episode, and what your thoughts about Kyle's power move, etc. Anyways, I'll be seeing you I forgot to let y'all know. Follow the socials. And I will be seeing you very, very soon with another video. Goodbye.